Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. My name is Toni Bryanne, and in today's video, we're going to be discussing the hard wig soft life theory. This is the topic I have been wanting to talk about for quite some time, and I'm so glad the time is finally here for me to share my thoughts on this theory. But as always, before we get into today's video, I want to start with a little bit of positivity, so let's first start off with the quote of the day. Today's quote of the day is, "I can look out my window forever, but I have to open the door to get anywhere." Today's verse of the day is Isaiah chapter 41 verse 10, and it reads, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." And here is a word from today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Paired, which is a fun and innovative platform to spice up your relationship with your partner. Paired is a relationship care app that offers daily questions, relationship games, quizzes, and different exercises to help improve relationships. So as you guys all know, I am single currently, but I am actively dating. And the best part about this app is that it will start conversations before you guys even become a couple. So it's beneficial for both dating and currently in relationships. So here's one question of the day that can get a conversation started between you and your partner. And the question is, what do you remember about the first time you met? And then you tap to answer that question. Say, "I remember that you were wearing a beautiful orange trench coat." So right when I answer that question, now I would invite my partner, whoever that person is, or should I say will be, and they're able to add on it as well. So whether you guys are working or you guys are not together physically, you guys are able to make each other smile while far apart. And then what will further prompt you and your partner to answer these questions is that it starts daily streaks. So as I stated, the Paired app has a multitude of different games that you are able to play with your partner. All these get to know you games is going to give you guys yet another opportunity to learn more about one another and inevitably spice up the relationship. One reason why I believe a lot of relationships are failing today is due to a lack of communication and a lack of spice. Paired helps communication stay active and the spice to stay alive. Click my link in the description box down below to get a 7-day free trial on the Paired app and say you love Paired. You then will receive 25% off Paired Premium for you and your partner to reach deeper levels within your relationship. Thank you so much, the Paired app, for sponsoring this segment of today's video. And without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Taking you in this moment. A hard wig equaling a soft life has become one of the trends circulating around the internet. So what does this phrase mean and why exactly is it used? Let's first start off with, what the heck is a hard wig? So a hard wig is a wig that looks like it has gone through a hard time. So it's a struggle wig, as people would call it. A wig that is synthetic, a wig that looks old, a wig that is worn out. Basically, if you're wearing a hard wig, it means that your wig looks like a wig. And in most cases, when you're wearing a wig, it's not supposed to look like you're wearing a wig. Now, what is a soft life? According to dictionary.com, a soft life refers to a lifestyle of comfort and relaxation with minimal challenges or stress. Some people use the term in reference to a life that involves and is a product of wealth and luxury, while others interpret it as simply being a simplified life unburdened from stress and responsibilities. So in terms of further explaining what this theory means, the hard wig soft life theory is one theory that many Black women believe is a cheat code into amassing a certain level of wealth. That cheat code being that in order for a Black woman to live a life of carefree luxury, she must dress quote unquote tacky and wear a terrible wig. In doing this, she is more inclined to meet and marry a wealthy white man. Now, this joke or theory, whatever you want to call it, stems from one TikTok user that said this in a TikTok.
"No one can pull a white millionaire like a slim Black woman with a bad wig."
So through this TikTok user and several others that have said similar things, a lot of Black women have subsequently sparked a conversation on whether or not you need to wear a bad wig in order to secure a white rich man. Not only are conversations just being had, some Black women are even going out of their way to test out this theory. Now, I'm unsure if it's a joke or not, but they're making the content to make it seem as if they are going on to test out the theory to secure a white rich man.
Get ready with me to find a wealthy white man.
You can have a little hair showing in the back, okay? Just show a little bit in the back. If you want to catch a billionaire, honey, you need more blush. And don't blend it.
Okay, don't blend the blush. You'll need some red lipstick. And don't make the lipstick perfect, okay? We want, what is her name? What's Black China Mama name? Tokyo Tiny or Toni, whatever. Okay, you want to look like you've been up all night, okay, drinking champagne. And you don't want your wig to be silky like this. So be a little ashy too, okay? A little ashy on the legs, you know, because they like you to look like you just woke up from an all-nighter. Now that you've perfected the wig, honey, you need some kind of headpiece. Something that says, I'm here. I can't dress, but I have money. We're gonna throw on be lived in. They don't want a slut, so cover up a little bit. They want to know you got the body, but don't show it all. Yeah, honey. They want to know that you're gonna spend their money on the wrong shit. Y'all think, the headband or the hat? The other option you can do, if you don't want to wear the coat, gloves, honey, they love some gloves. You gotta have the jewelry on top of the gloves. You feel me? You gotta put the jewelry on the gloves. Oh shit. But that's okay. But look at that. An improvement. Leave it. Don't fix it. Leave it. Leave it. White man, find me. And if you don't have these, get to push up and push them up. Now you have to learn how to pose. Oh, tease it. Tease it like you tease a man. Because they don't like the junk in the trunk, they like the junk in the front. And you too will get out of poverty. 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 I'm gonna find you a millionaire, a billionaire, an oil tycoon. Okay? A tech nerd, a founder, an app developer. Somebody that can take you and your family out of poverty.
Just in case you need proof that my theory works, this is how I just went to the mall with my wig. I didn't know it was like this. I left the gym, I was in a rush, and then I put something over my head. Look at this. Look at this. Chad and Brad got my phone number. I'm not lying. This is how my wig was. You guys, this theory is correct. Hard wig, soft life.
Well, I'm about to go to a bar, so wish me luck with Chad and Brad's dad.
So the question is this theory true or not? Well, we're about to get into it in my next talking point. But I want to make it clear, I separated this video into two talking points. One on whether or not this theory is true, and one on whether or not this is a problematic theory. But let's first start off with, is it true that a hard wig equals a soft life? Well, it can definitely be seen as true. A lot of Black people in general who step outside of their race in order to date tend to not be closely aligned with their Black community. I say this to say, statistically, about 12% of Black women date outside of their race. And though this isn't technically relevant to the conversation or the video, if you were curious, about 26% of Black men date outside of their race. So over double the amount of Black women that date outside of their race. Along with that stat, Black women are also the least likely to step outside of their race when dating. So you're probably like, what do you mean, Toni? Why does this necessarily matter? Well, that matters because Black women don't date outside their race. So if they do, it's typically for a reason. And that reason being, they are not as close to their Black community. Now, it's not all, but a big chunk of them are not closely tied to their community. As a culture, Black culture I'm speaking of, being put together in general, especially when it comes to our hair, especially with Black women, is a staple in our community. Now, there are definitely some racial stigmas that attach to this point, but it is true. Our looks mean a lot. Looking wealthy, looking good is very important to the Black community. And you can tell by hair primarily if a Black girl was raised with white people.
I grew up in a predominantly white gated community, and although I went to a predominantly Black private school, I hung out with a lot of the white kids in my neighborhood who also went to a predominantly white private school. My Black girlfriends from school discussed everything Black beauty, Black hair care, basically all of the things that I never discussed with my white friends due to lack of relation. Because Black girls learn from other Black girls, the Black girls who went to the predominantly white school most likely didn't either. If no one around you is pointing out an issue with your hair, then why correct it? Why change it? So rarely any of the few I knew of had laid edges or super bust down hair, you know what I mean. But naturally, we date within our social circle. So who is she dating? White boys.
So a white man may be more inclined or less intimidated to approach and speak to a black woman whose hair is not as put together as what he may be used to or what he sees. He will automatically know or think, even if it's not intentional, that, she's not too black. So in that case, it would be safer to approach her and he will be less likely to be rejected by her. And when I say less intimidated or him feeling more inclined to speak to this black woman, it's because, once again, black women are the least likely to step outside of their race when it comes to dating.
Okay, hard wig, soft life, yes or no? That's not actually the question. You need to be asking why. Why does it work? I've seen a lot of people talking about this, and unfortunately, a very few people actually understand the underlying reason. It is not because these guys don't care as much about beauty standards. It is not because they're too naive to know what to expect from Black beauty standards. It's because if you cannot meet those beauty standards as far as the Black cultural expectation goes, you are marking that by wearing a bad wig. That signifies to them as outsiders out of the community that you are not backed or well connected to the community very much, because if you were, your wig would be laid. You would have the connections, the resources, and the cultural reinforcement for that to happen. When you walk out into these predominantly white spaces, like y'all are gonna go put on your crunchiest wigs and go socialize with them, you are signifying, for better or for worse, realistically or as a ploy, that you are so vulnerable and disconnected from the rest of Black culture.
So when he sees a Black woman that doesn't look too quote unquote Black, that white man is going to approach her and speak to her, and that's why the belief is hard wig will equal a soft life. I mean, white men literally are the top of the totem pole when it comes to wealth. And as I told you as the definition earlier, soft life means lack of responsibility, lack of stress, luxury, etc., etc. And wealth helps aid a lot of those things. Another reason why this may be true is when a white man sees a Black woman that isn't super glued to her hair, she doesn't like to look good, well, from what people believe from looking at her hair, he'll automatically think that she is more fun and that she will like to hang out and she's not going to be too uptight. We all know the theory that Black women don't like to get their hair wet, which I am a living testament to that. When my hair is done, I don't want to be near a pool. But if you guys think about it, I always have felt that when white women are traveling and when they're going out in general, they have a little bit of more fun than Black women do, especially when Black women are going on vacation wearing wigs and sew-ins, which is about to be me, but I'm going on a relaxing trip, okay? This was not intentional. White women are able to have more fun because they can jump in the water, they can get their hair wet. All they have to do is go back to their villa or go back to their resort or hotel room, wash their hair, blow it out, and then they're good as new. So they're able to get into more of the rougher activities and more of the messy and dirty activities because they don't have to worry about their hair. So they're more attached to spontaneous fun. And one TikTok user furthers my point. Take a look at this clip. First, let me show you guys the clip that the woman that I was speaking on is reacting to, and it will further explain what she was meaning. And then I will show you guys what she said.
I love sports.
So the trending conversation on TikTok right now is hard wig, soft life. The ongoing joke is Black women who wear wigs that are a little kind of out there, kind of beat up, not all the way situated, they tend to attract rich white men. Here is my theory on why that is. She's fun. She's charming. She's exciting. She doesn't give a damn. She's just out to have a really good time. She is out to live her life and be loud and boisterous and be seen. And a lot of these men who have resources, that is all that they want. They want a happy, loving, pretty woman on their side. A lot of them, they tend to have expensive taste outside of, the headpiece. And they tend to fit right into their world. Just having a good time is all that they want. And a lot of women whose wigs are like this, they don't care. They don't think too hard about it. They're just enjoying life. And that's what these men want. Someone to enjoy life with. Think that through. Just think that through.
And I also want to add on that a lot of these wealthy men, they're traveling, they like to go on spontaneous trips, they're on business trips all the time. So they're going to want to be with a woman that's going to help alleviate that stress whenever they are on the road and making these big, serious business deals. So yes, I can see why a wealthy man might pick a black woman that has a crunchy wig, a hard wig, an old wig, whatever you want to call it. Yes, I can see why the hard wig soft life theory may be in fact true. Now let's move on to my next point. How can this theory be seen as problematic? So you may be like, well, Toni, how is this problematic in general? I find this theory to be hella problematic, quite frankly. Why would I say so? I think it is perpetually attacking the black women that do not adhere to the typical black beauty standards in our community. There is a way that black women should look according to society. Well, should I say black society? Because society is not meant for black people, let's be for real. That black beauty standard being the 40-inch bust-down lace front or closure with the untraceable lace, $500 plus bundles and wigs, 16mm eyelashes, the BBL starter pack with Lululemon on the body, and basically any girl that looks like a rapper's baby mama. And even I would say myself, y'all, I don't technically adhere to the black beauty standards. Now, y'all tell me if y'all think so. I think I adhere to a different level of black beauty standards because anytime I'm around black people, I am constantly being told that they can tell I went to a white school. They can tell that I come from a two-parent household. It's very problematic because I am as pro-black as it gets, but my look even isn't adhering to the black society level of beauty standards in terms of the rapper baby mama, hip hop aesthetic, whichever you want to call it. But in terms of the black women with the hard wigs, I believe people are subliminally making fun of the black women that don't adhere to the black beauty standards. And I also feel it is actively downplaying how these black women, quote unquote, got that white man as if he's the prize. The hard wig soft life theory is telling these black women that the only reason that they are in a life of luxury, the only reason why they secured that wealthy man is because she looks a hot mess. Tell me that is not hella degrading. There are so many different types of black women that go outside of the mainstream agenda that black women should look like and appear as. If a black woman doesn't care to lay her edges down, if she doesn't care to take out her 3-month-old braids, if she doesn't care to wear a sew-in or wear a wig, then allow her to be that. Allow her to be her true, authentic self.
You're allowed to have expired braids. I'm not going to teach you how to be an elegant woman. I'm not going to tell you how to pull a white man. I'm not going to tell you how to pull any man. I'm not going to flex the expensive shit I buy. I'm not going to tell you you have to live in a luxury apartment. I live in a student apartment. I'm not going to make you feel like you always have to have your edges done. I'm not going to tell you that you have to be a certain aesthetic. You don't. I'm just simply going to have honest, raw conversations about how it is to be a black girl that is just mediocre, and that's all you have to be.
We need to allow black women to fully embrace their womanhood without being taunted from doing the opposite of what we believe they should be acting as. And as I stated, there are so many different forms of black women. The beautiful thing about being a black woman is that we are not boxed into one category. You have your alternative black woman, you have your bougie black woman, you have your baddie aesthetic black woman, you have the nerdy black woman. There are so many different forms of us, and we should not all be told to act and behave as the same kind. I also think the hard wig soft life theory proves a very important point. That point being, black people as a whole are each other's biggest critics and bullies.
The hard wig soft life girlies. Are y'all the same ones that was about 2 or 3 years ago bullying the girls on here that didn't know how to properly lay their wig? Are y'all the same ones that were talking about people's lace and it doesn't look good and so on and so forth? Just being very mean and judgmental towards us, mind you, in the comments of these videos. Because I don't think it's all of y'all. But I just have a feeling it's a lot of y'all that were not being nice to our sisters a while ago. Now y'all are trying to get the same quote unquote wigs that they have because you now see the value in it somehow.
As a black woman, you should know by now that we can be our toughest critics. The beauty standards for us specifically are astronomical because of classism, colonialism, and colorism. After skin color, the best metric for each of these things is hair, texture, and hairstyle, and hair color. So when a black woman marries a white man, she is essentially removing herself from the environment where this is the standard of beauty and acceptance. And quite frankly, that white man that she married, and a lot of other white men in general, they can't really distinguish a bad wig from a good wig, let alone a wig from your natural hair. And let me say this, if white women can tell that you are wearing a wig, they either don't care that it looks a certain way, or they're definitely not going to say it to your face that your wig may be sliding back, that you are missing edges, whatever the case may be. But what I think happens internally with that woman that has freed herself from these standards is simply the fact that she now has time and space to focus her energy on other things. She doesn't have to spend an hour in the mirror trying to perfect the lay of her baby hair. Not that she doesn't think it looks nice, but she can do other things with her time. She can go try new activities. She can hang out with a group of people who don't care about these things. So she just no longer focuses on them.
You ever notice that a lot of these women that are actively living the hard wig soft life theory are authentically themselves? To me, it seems they're actually more complacent in their blackness than their critics are. They comfortably wear their natural hair. They don't care to put all these products in it to make it more curly if it's not. They don't care if their wigs are looking like it's growing from the scalp or not. And they will happily rock a short cut, happily rock an afro, and comfortably rock that crunchy wig, while their white husbands will comfortably love and embrace their authentic selves. Because the theory stands that these black women that are wearing the crunchy wigs are the black women that aren't seen as desirable to the majority of black men. They're the ones that are going to the rich, wealthy men. Whereas the black women that seem to fit the aesthetic of being with a black man or fit the aesthetic of what a black woman should look like, she is not living the same luxury that the women that are authentically themselves and happily accept the fact that they aren't accepted by the black community are on the next trip to Bora Bora with their white husband that is taking good care of them and loving and embracing who they truly are. So as I just stated, while we are sitting here making fun of and taunting and trying to make our wigs look messy, homegirl is in first class on her way to Bora Bora with her husband and all expenses paid by him. So instead of making jokes, it appears that we need to start taking notes. Oh shoot, that kind of rhymed. And just to wrap up this entire video, guys, I want us all as black women to be released from the shackles of dating life. We talk about dating so freaking much. I am tired. I know y'all gotta be exhausted. The amount of podcasts, the amount of TikToks, the amount of videos on how to secure a rich man, how to secure a man that values you. Guys, it is tiresome. I get it, I get it, I get it. The best way for a relationship to work, in my opinion, though I am single, so I'm not going to strongly speak on this because I haven't secured myself a man, is to just be authentically yourself. Just be you and that person will come and you guys will just mesh well together. There doesn't need to be a rule book on how to secure a man. The only online discourse in the black community is dating. Like, y'all not tired? With this hard wig soft life theory now trending on social media, though it is seen as a joke to many, it can also appear that black women are practically begging to be loved. We already see the array of black men that are stepping outside of their race to date, a staggering 26%. So it's like black women can't secure a black man, so now they're hunting after a white man, and they're going to lower what they consider to be their beauty standards in order to secure a white man. It just comes off as begging, it comes off as charity, it comes off as fair change, please, please, please. Like, can we just stop talking about it and can we stop begging to be with a white man? Can we stop begging for some pasta and lobster? Like, guys, please, enough is enough. I'm gonna need black women as a whole to tighten up.
My personal bias is that I don't support the idea of doing things specifically just to marry rich when it involves putting that before everything else, or making concessions and compromises to your own character in order to have it, because that is a limiting belief that basically says you don't believe that you can be well off and wealthy and happy in a more well-rounded way, that you're going to have to make some kind of sacrifice to do it and to get it. And that's where the wearing a bad wig or, you know, trying to find yourself a billionaire or a millionaire or whatever, even though you don't genuinely like these people.
Pasta and lobster is like the new trend. White boy winter, white boy summer. As A literal girl who had to deal with a Connor. Let's call this person Connor. They are literally no better than black men, and I will die on this hill. Also, decenter men from your life in general. Like, just decenter men and you'll be a lot happier. I never cared about men until I was pressured by everyone to care, and I never did. It never gave I care. So I'm single and happy now. I've always been single, that's the cat. But decenter men.
Whether your man is white and he likes to take you to get pasta and lobster, or whether you have a black man, a black king, whichever, be authentically you. Don't let that man walk all over you. And continue growing within yourself, because that's the only way a relationship will work, is if you guys are both doing the work in order to grow. And that's why you need to go and download the Paired app, okay? Get you the Paired app, figure out what you and your partner are good at, figure out what works for y'all, and the rest will just flourish naturally on its own. Because the only man that can be kept is the one that wants to be kept. Now that is a word. Y'all saw how I tied that in there? But y'all, that is the end of today's video. And as always, I want to know what you guys think in the comments down below in terms of the hard wig soft life theory. Do you believe that this theory is true? Do you believe that it's false? Do you guys believe that black women seem to be practically begging to be loved? Let's get the discussion going in the comments. And as always, please be respectful. All of your opinions matter, but we don't have to degrade one another to get a point across. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Remember, we're on the road to 200,000 subscribers. So thank you so much for all the love and support. And here is to 200K. I love you guys so much, and I will see you all in my very next video. Love you guys. Bye. Mwah.
Taking you in this moment. Come get close like you own it. Read your aura.